you owe us X number of dollars. And I said, I don't have it. It was sink or swim, standing up for closing arguments. There is nothing like, that's a drug. Embrace the suck, as they say in the military. I know what this feels like. I'm comfortable being in adversity.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Cristina Perez Hesano, and this is Verdicts Vogue. And with me today, I have the honor of presenting Jason Pritchett, a dear friend, amazing attorney, business owner, and just, I can go on and on and on. All right?
We go back.
We go
back, Chris. We go back.
Do I have to call you Jason or can I call you Pritch?
You can call me whatever you want. Okay. Pritch, Jason.
What are they calling you these days, Mr. Pritchett?
Unfortunately, yes. As we can see, I'm getting old. So I'm getting a lot more Mr. Pritchetts, which makes me look around for my dad, who's not there. So, yeah.
Well, I think I try to call you Jason because one time I was like, oh, was Pritch there? And my daughter goes, who's Pritch? And I go, that's Sloan and Izzy's dad.
Yeah.
She goes, his name is Pritch? I thought that his name's Pritchett? I go, no, that's just what we call it.
Yeah, we have competition now because my son is now taking on the name of Pritch. And so his friends call him Pritch. And so there's a little bit of who's the real Pritch right now. So, yeah,
Ooh.
Football and at school, all of his jerseys. And
are you going to give up the title?
I don't think I really got a choice. I don't have much choice these days.
Well, I'll tell you, he's a formidable opponent.
He definitely. He is a strong-willed young man.
I love seeing that. But let's take a step back for the listeners who don't know about you, and let's start from the beginning. Where were you born and raised?
Oh, the journey. Before I even talk about my journey, I want to thank my parents because without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I try to remind myself of that quite a bit when I'm dealing with my own kids, which is you're planting a lot of seeds for trees that you might never see the shade of.
I love
with
that.
The kids, because they're your kids. They're your DNA, so they know how to push your buttons. I think that there are certain days that my three get together and decide who's going to pick on the big guy today.
Is there one who knows it more than the others?
No, I think it's torture by committee. I don't think there's a ringleader. I think they all take turns. So I think looking back on how my parents were a grounding force and concrete and not willing to take anything but the best effort from us is what really has propelled myself and my siblings to be the kind of people that I think we try to be on a daily basis. No one's perfect, but I think that guidance is a big part. But I was born in Maryland, grew up most of the time in Virginia, grew up on a farm. I'm a country boy. Most people they think these suits are just the norm. No.
I have to tell you, you made me step up my suit game. I have all my suits made because of you.
Did you go with the person I sent you, or was that no?
That was a punishment. Let me tell you, that was punishment by you. I don't know what I did to you for that, but I did end up buying suits from that person, and she was lovely. But I had my own suit person by now, but I couldn't say no, and you knew that I couldn't say no because when I called you and said, "Hey, do you know so and so?" you started laughing hysterical. I'm like, mother. Well, thank you.
All is good in love and war.
Well, I love the suits. I compete with you in suits. It's no competition because you're hands down. You just got the swag.
Well, that is, once again, going back to my parents. That's my dad. We grew up on a farm in Virginia. It was a produce farm, for lack of a better word. But we were in church 3 or 4 days a week. And when I mean church, it was suits and ties every time. So my dad has this Southern mentality that you wear your best. And so that is continued to this day. I'm a bit dismayed with the state of our profession when it comes to that. I think that casual is amazing. I think it's great. I think at the end of the day, though, when clients are coming in to share with you their problems, that their emotional situations in life, there's something about walking into a room and seeing someone who I believe in talking with clients that, hey, I'm taking you seriously.
Yeah.
As opposed to board shorts and a t-shirt. Now, I say that, Now, hopefully one day I will be able to do that because I'll be that successful where it's like, hey, look, I'm wearing board shorts and t-shirts. But
I don't know. I mean, I've known you for now 20 years. And even back then when we weren't even attorneys, you were always dressed into the T. I remember we had like designer sunglasses, always matching like black t-shirt. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's the dad. I get that from my dad. So yeah, that's kind of the roots of where it came from. Grew up there, went to boarding school, and then came back and went to college up in Ohio. Transferred out to Oklahoma, started playing basketball, and the intentions were to go to med school. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to do orthopedics. That was kind of my passion, and that tied into sports. My older brother was preparing to go to medicine, and he's been a big guiding force in a lot in my life. I always tell him he's the smartest but most impractical person that I know. He is a genius when it comes to just study habits and just mental capacity. He's brilliant. So following in his footsteps a lot.
What does he do for a living?
So Cedric is in Orlando. He is working at Nemours Hospital, and he is the head chief surgeon for ear, nose, and throat pediatric surgery down there. So once again, just brilliant individual.
So then how did you end up in law?
So was actually studying for my MCATs. Someone told me that one of the things to help prepare for your MCATs was, for the writing part of it, was to look at an LSAT book. Mm-hmm. So I started looking at an LSAT, and, you know, my career, for lack of a better word, up until that point was really sports oriented. Sure. It was just what I loved. Half brother played 12 years in the league. Dad played in the league and then overseas. So sports is kind of a family. And
you actually walked on, right?
Yes. Was a nerd, still am a nerd, but loved the game of basketball. And outside of playing AAU, didn't play any high school. Walked on to start playing, and then played for about 3.5 years in college, and had some opportunities to go play overseas when I was done, but wanted to pursue the profession.
I remember that. So do you know that do you remember when we met, you were contemplating going overseas to play?
Correct. Right? That's right.
And then you ended up not going overseas.
Yeah, I ended up doing the law thing, slinging laws, we'd say. But yeah, that is. You know, it's funny because you look back on that and you have to ask yourself, I wonder how my life would have been if I would have done that. And as you get older, you realize that, you know, everything happens for a reason.
I always say that.
It does.
It's either a reason, season, or a lifetime. That's when people come into your life, right?
And the timing on that is what everything comes down to. It's the timing, right? Yeah. So for me, you know, I try not to have regrets. But there's also a part of me saying, I would like to see a dual path for Jason, see how that would play it out. See how that would have played out.
You never know. With AI, you probably can make it up, right? So,
well, I guess we'll talk about that later. That's a very interesting topic. So yeah, was going to do med, and I love the intersection of sports and business. That's something that I've always, since I was a child, always been fascinated with, is that intersection of where business and sports cross. And so that's why I think I chose orthopedics, because of the sports aspect of it, and also the business side of medicine. But started studying for the MCATs, and then I started having a reality check of how long this process was going to take.
Oh, no.
And seeing my brother and what he was already going through, because he was in med school at the time. And I was like, man, I don't 4 years, and then 2 years of internship, and then probably another 2 of residency, and then a fellowship. I was like, man, I don't know about all that. And so I started.
So you took the easy way out and became a lawyer.
Let's be honest. If we're calling spade a spade, yes, for sure. But I loved the complexities of the law. I found it very similar to medicine in the sense that, you know, we don't call it the art of law, and we don't call it the art of medicine. It's called the practice. Yeah. Because we're always learning. We're always growing. It's never a static situation. It's always dynamic.
Sure. The
moment that you start having that mentality is the moment that you die.
It's true.
It's dynamic. You always have to be willing to grow. And so kind of, I'm assuming we'll talk about some of the AI stuff and just the changes in the practice. A lot of people are disgruntled with it, run from it, aren't comfortable with it.
Well, there's so many changes that are going on now, right? I mean, it's the same thing. And for those who don't know, Jason is president of Aprio Legal. Aprio.
Yes.
So it's like Aprio.
Yeah.
Aprio Legal.
And I'm not sure if I'm even a president at this point in time. I'm there. Just there. Just there. Trying to do my part. Team player, man. Team player.
Okay, so then tell me, because you went, now you're there, but from the time that you decided to take the LSAT, go to law school, you were doing criminal defense.
Yeah, so got done with college, took the LSAT, passed, whatever that means, got offers to go to law school, showed up at law school the first day, went to the registrar's office, and they said, you owe us X number of dollars. And I said, I don't have it. And they said, well, then you can't start school. I'm like, well, you accepted me. And they're like, well, you got to pay. All right. And so I was like, I don't have that money. So like, well, what are you going to do?
Loans? Did they help you through that whole process?
It was still not going to, it wasn't going to be a dent in it. It was.
Oh, I don't know this story. What'd you do?
So that is the reason why I went to law school at night. Because they said, listen, okay, if you can't pay, you can go to law school for 4 years instead of 3. And you can, do it that way. And I was like, well, I don't really have a choice here. So I got a job working at a criminal defense firm during the day. So my day in law school was pretty crazy. I look back on it nowadays and like, wow, it was interesting. But I would get up, I'd be in the office by 7. I'd work from 7 to about 4 in the afternoon, and then I would go home and I would study from like 5 to about 7, and then law school would start at 7 to 10. Wow. And that was every day. But that allowed me to pay for law school. I was working at the criminal defense firm. My boss and sponsor and mentor to this day, Mike Johnson, I'm not sure if he'll ever hear this, but he is the reason why I believe that I have the mindset that I have when it comes to law. His mentality was, listen, either you're going to learn it or you're not. It was sink or swim. So in Oklahoma at the time, you could have a sponsoring attorney sponsor you to work for them. All they had to do was be in the court building, not the courtroom, the building.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's like the supervisor. They have a program like that here in Arizona, but I think there's.
I think I'd be in the courtroom with you.
Yeah, I think there's more supervision.
There was none. It was sink or swim. And his mentality from day one was, I'm going to give you cases. You're going to go I was in the jail almost 4 or 5 times a week, meeting clients, preliminary hearings, court, trials, opening, the whole thing. And it was.
And you just figured it out.
His mentality was, Chris, if you get yelled at by a judge, you'll never forget the lesson to learn. So I can still remember, and the judge, I'm not sure if he's even on the bench, or if he's even alive for that matter, Fred Doak, just absolutely would eat my lunch on a daily basis.
He just would lit you up for no reason, or you just didn't know what you were doing?
I didn't know I was doing. And so that taught. You learn really, really fast. Really fast.
You always learn for the people who are always winning. I mean, that's great, but it's from your losses that you really get your invaluable lessons, because you'll never. I'm
not sure what coach said it. It might have been Belichick, but he says you don't learn anything from winning.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You learn from losing. The only thing you learn how to do from winning is this is what it feels like to win, and that's a great feeling. But as far as growth, you learn from losing. Yeah. And so that for me was a huge lesson of learning how to deal with prosecutors, learning how to deal with people, to deal with families, to deal with people that are incarcerated, to just deal with seeing the law literally at work. I mean, we were dealing with some pretty gnarly stuff, and it didn't matter. He was like, Mike's position was, hey, I'm throwing you in the deep end of the pool. Let's see if you can swim. And so going through that process, by the time I graduated from law school, I had tried probably close to 12 cases, from theft and burglary to murder to rape to just all of them.
Wow.
And so that was a huge huge, I think, motivation for me to enjoy the aspects of trial, which to this day, I still miss a little bit. I don't miss the prep. Let's be honest about this.
The prep is tough.
If you could figure out a way to prep me for trial and then just wind me up and let me go, just insert me there, I am all in with that. But I love that. The three biggest, I think, adrenaline rushes for me are playing March Madness basketball, running with the Bulls. And standing up for closing arguments. There is nothing like that's a drug. When an entire courtroom is there and everyone's saying, tell us why I should believe you.
Yeah.
That is a rush. That is a rush.
I'm going to say, I agree with you. I agree with you. I remember as you were saying that, I was thinking about my first closing argument. I'm like,
it's intense.
It is.
It's a drug.
And it's different because I started doing a lot bench trials first before I did jury trials. And my first jury trial was just completely different than anything that I had done before because you were always talking to the judge. Yeah. Yeah.
It literally is a drug because everyone is sitting there saying, I have a feeling and an opinion. Tell me why I should feel different or confirm how I feel. And that is powerful. It is a powerful thing. And it's intoxicating to a certain extent. So got a great opportunity to experience that. And that kind of parlayed me into my next role, which, I did well in law school. I was, top 25, whatever, but I wasn't, moot court or order the coif or any of those great strategic and prestigious things.
But you had life experience, which is what made you a front runner. And that's how you ended up in Arizona.
That's how I ended up there. I can remember my interview for my first job. I sat down and they were asking, like, I don't understand your resume. So I had to explain to them, like, no, I've tried 12 cases. They're like, you're still in law school. And so I had to explain that to them. And they're like, you seem really anxious right now. And I'm like, I kind of am because I need to get through this interview because I got to get back on a plane because I have closing arguments tomorrow. That life experience, to kind of go back, that loss of not being able to go to traditional law school, to go during the day and sit around with your friends and do study halls and group sessions and all that. I thought I was missing something, and maybe I did. But as I look back, by me having to go down this alternate path, which I thought at the time was a loss, was what actually propelled me to be able to do some of the things I got to be able to do later on in life.
Sure.
Because of that adversity of having to do it a different way, right? And so there, if I was going to say to an up-and-coming young lawyer, don't look at a traditional path as being, or a non-traditional path as being something to pull you down or to seem that you're less than, because that is the very thing that's probably going to motivate you in those times when you are practicing, where you're up against some impossible odds, because you're going to say to yourself, well, I've done this before. I know what this feels like. I'm comfortable being in adversity. Embrace it. Don't run from it. If you run from it, it's just going to chase you. And then when it chases you, you're going to be out of breath. And then it's really going to get you then. So when it happens, you have to just kind of lean into it. Embrace the suck, as they say in the military, because it's only going to help you in the long run.
All right, we'll pause it here. In part 2, Jason shares something he usually doesn't, and it changes the entire conversation. Don't miss it.